Hello everyone, it is me, MrSneakyy, and today we are going over Velyn, the newest mage in the game. I can't wait to cover him. He is going to be phenomenal, so stay tuned for everything you're going to need to know. Hello everyone, so yes, we're going over Velyn today, the new latest mage in the game, and I cannot wait to go over him. You guys, I know are excited to see what I think of him, as well as the pairings and talents, as well as obviously the skill review that I'm going to go over today. So smash a like, comment and subscribe guys, it helps me a bunch, and we've been pushing very well towards the 500 goal, so let's keep going with that great momentum, right? So without any further ado, let's go straight into things. So Velyn is the new obviously mage. You can get him the same way as Kanara, which is through the tavern recruitment, as well as you can see it through the daily deals. As we hit daily deals, we click switch heroes. You can click both and select and recruit them these way. It says you can not on Kanara at the moment, but it must be a bug. But let's go back into Velyn. When you hit into Velyn at that start, you can get him if you want to get him really quickly. Also, on top of all that, you know, we have the talents of Magic, PvP and Control. These are the exact same talents as Velyn, so I can use all the talent trees from him as examples, which you're going to see later down the line. And then, obviously, we have the skills, right? So let's go over the skills, and then we'll go over the pairings, and then the artifacts, right? So first skill is an amazing OP, very powerful skill. It is a 1200 nuke to a single target plus 2 surrounding units, which inflicts freeze, reducing their march speed by 10% for 3 seconds. Each additional target reduces the damage dealt for each target, right? It's the same key thing at the end, but it's the exact same ability as our boy Wilddeer, right? But Wilddeer is only dealing 700, so now you're dealing nearly 500 more on top of that, and this is showcasing even at a 4111 level Velyn, you're dealing more damage in theory than obviously the Wilddeer, right? So when we hit 5111, we're in a great state. And when we go into these next skill, this is where for anyone who's a free-to-play player, this is what's going to be my big advice for the first impressions video. If you're looking for a mage to invest into, or you're looking for someone to invest into, if you get Velyn, I would suggest going into Velyn. Velyn's going to be a very powerful mage that's going to synergize very well later, and you're going to see why. In his skill 2, he has a 15% hero skill damage bonus, which is perfect with, again, as you can see, our boy Wilddeer, which has the exact same buff on his skill 3. So you have a 30% damage buff together. As you can see, this is going to be one of the #1 pairings without, you know, going too much into it. But on top of that, you have your own march speed bonus of 20%, which is really good for mages because they are really slow. So at a 5511 state, a Velyn is very powerful on the open field. It's going to be more powerful than you expect. It's going to be very good with other champions. And when you keep putting more heads into him, you're going to get more out of him, as you're going to see. So skill 3 now synergizes perfectly, because when you get this maxed out, all magic units gain a 10% skill crit rate bonus of 10% and a 15% magic unit defense bonus, which is insane. This is the first obviously unit with skill crit rate bonus attached to its magic term. So we're going to see how powerful this is. They might remove it because it might be a bit too strong to have this, plus obviously the talents that you can have with him, right? As well as talents with other pairs, which we're going to talk about. And then when you go to the skill 4 though, skill 4 is a 20% magic defense reduction on the target, and it reduces their march speed by 20% with a cool little freeze effect again. So you got 2 different freeze effects here that allows you to obviously trigger on the opponent. So by himself, if you had him as a primary and no one behind him, if you had him at 5111, this would hopefully trigger enough so you have a 10% freeze on them off this trigger, and allowing you to obviously hit them with this 1200. And why it's important is because when you do expertise him, you get an additional skill, and the additional skill is when you cast your rage skill on the target and that target's already frozen, so from his 4th skill or from another source, you will now deal an additional 400 damage, and you remove the frozen debuff effect. So they remove the march speed reduction, which is fine, but they take 400 damage for doing it. So it's a very powerful big burst. It's a little bit of almost like consistent damage to add on top of his burst, which is really cool. And as you can see, these skills and these buffs you get in the free sections here are just so insanely strong for a magic unit. And for me, he's going to be a really very, 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 very good commander to have in the long term. Pairing wise, as you can see, he's going to have a lot of options to go for. One is, as you can see, would be Fear. Surprisingly, Fear would give you another 15% skill damage buff, plus a 1k shield, allowing your march now for magic units to be actually a bit more tankier and sustained while bursting someone down. You also get a decent 15% skill damage reduction and the bonus on attack. You also get more defense bonus, and you get an attack bonus on top. So you get a bunch of stats. You basically empower this Velyn with a bunch of stats and make him survive as long as possible. So that's one very, very viable option you could go down. But the obvious choice here is obviously Waldir, right? Waldir plus Velyn is going to be an amazing combo. And the cool thing with this combo is you can run Waldir primary, or you could run Velyn primary. And that's the beauty of it, because the thing is, they both have the exact same trees, apart from Waldir has the skill tree. And the skill tree is very, very powerful, because obviously we get the skill crit damage bonus and the skill crit chance. So if you chose to have Waldir primary, you're going to be doubling up on some skill crit based combat because of this, right? So you can choose to do that route. And you can also do this route with a expertise, or say like a 511 Waldir, and if you put the Velyn behind the 5111 Waldir, the Waldir also puts a freeze on the target, meaning when Waldir hits them, I know he's not expertise, but if he was expertise, you'd get the 400. So the fact that you're able to set up a combo just shows you in the future as a free-to-play player, you're able to do it, right? So that's what I think is going to be the best combos. I would not pair him with Alwyn. That's the thing. He's not a person to put on. He does obviously ensnare the target, which slows them, but it's not a freeze effect, and that's what you want. You want the freeze effect on him. You could try Lilia if you have a super powerful Lilia, if you really wanted to. You've got obviously the damage bonuses here, as well as insane nuking with AoE chances, so you can double stack on the AoE with that. But that pretty much sums up the pairings. For me, I would definitely go for the Velyn Waldir combo. Switch it around if you want, and even try the Fear combo, because I'd be surprised. I think everyone's going to be surprised how well the Fear combo will do with Velyn there, because of the amount of shielding and all the damage you're going to gain as the match goes, right? So now let's go into obviously the artifacts. The artifacts are really easy. You want to be going for the Phoenix Eye. So if you just go quickly into the chest so you guys know what we're talking about, you want to hit the Phoenix Eye here. And I don't have the new one, but if you have the new purple epic, which is the incantation at maxed out, so that is level 5 in the skill, and if compared to a level 1 Phoenix Eye, I would use the incantation over the Phoenix Eye, just because you're dealing more AoE damage. This only deals 2k, and the skill, obviously when you upgrade it, it still needs to be level 3 to have 3000 damage to deal more than the incantation. So that's the only reason why you want to be hitting the 3k one, and that's the two optimal choices. You just have either Phoenix Eye or incantation. As simple as when you're picking this match, you want as much damage and AoE stacking on top of each other. So now we're going to finish it up with the talents, and I thank you guys again for making it so far. We're halfway through the video. Smash like, comment and subscribe, guys. You guys support the channel so much. But now we're going over the one bit which I know people love to see, but obviously it's the longest part. I've found hopefully a new way of doing it. So in the comment section below, if you've made it this far to the talent section, I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. So we've got the talents now, and as you can see, we have the magic PvP control tree on Halloween, which is the exact same access tree that you're gonna have on your Velyn. And if it was me, this is the exact same control tree if you wanted to go down a primary control tree, right? So if you have 45 points, this is the way you want to go. This gives you the most amount of energy and sustainability on a march, as well as providing a lot of utility with the control tree. And that's the one thing you need to realize. Control allows you to focus on being more of support and more of a utility based march, because you're applying a lot more different effects. But with this, if you notice your Velyn getting focused, right, and you have a level 60 march, if you have your last 15 points, going into Soul Siphon is a really good option, because when you have your last 15 points and you're always getting targeted, even though you're not dealing that much counter attack damage, the fact that you're Soul Siphoning 40 rage off them, it means that you're taking 40 rage off them and you're gaining it, and you're able to fire off more AoE and punish them, right? So that is, for me, the tree. Everything, as you can see, is 5 out of 5. And now we go into the next tree, and that is the PvP. And the PvP one, as you can see, is a little bit different compared to the others. And when we zoom in, you can see a little bit why. We have a 3-2 split on the very first option, just giving yourself a bit of march speed, as well as the march speed down here gives you 10% on top of the ones you're going to gain from skills 3. It just gives you enough march speed to maneuver around the battlefield and to reposition to target new enemies and obviously keep damage up, right? And that's what's important. A lot of people don't realize march speed inherently is DPS. The quicker you can get in and out of combat and reposition to retarget someone means you're dealing damage quicker, so you're performing better than someone else. And that's a really key factor in this game, which I don't think a lot of people are considering yet, right? So now we have a 2 and a 3 split. Having a nice 3% damage buff is nice, and then having the 10% rage and obviously now Army of Valor, increasing the amount of damage dealt the longer you're in battlefield. And then this sustain keeps going up. You want to increase your Legion capacity, so you're dealing more damage on the battlefield. Obviously increasing your overall damage by 1.5% is amazing. And then again, I love this skill. The fact that every time you kill someone, you can heal up to 300 over 10 seconds, basically, is a massive effect, especially when you're hitting multiple marchers with AoE, and you might kill one random AoE march, right? That's really low, and you kill them, get a free heal, and it keeps you sustained in the fight without you even realizing, right? And it might win the guy that you might be targeting, right? Because you might have been losing, but over time you've been healing from the AoE damage you've been dealing. And then for me, finishing on is increasing your health. Increasing your health is the best stat in PvP. It means your troops can take more damage, and obviously if they can take more damage, it means they're going to be able to sustain long on the battlefield. So that is the PvP side. If you're going to go down the PvP route and you have 15 points, again, you can go down into Soul Siphon, or you can go down into the magic tree, which we're going to go over right now. And this is what the magic tree would look like. So if you choose to go down the magic primary now, it's very simple, to be honest. You go straight down the middle, getting health, increasing your rage and increasing skill damage. And then you could choose, I prefer energy boost, increasing the 8% chance to add an additional target to your rage skill, means you're even hitting multiple AoEs on AoEs, which is really insane when you see it happen. But if you want a bit more consistency, and which is fine, everyone does love consistency, Magic Maelstrom is really good because it means just before you hit your rage skill, you guarantee a defense magic mitigation on them, so you're going to be dealing more damage when you hit that skill. And then when you hit forward, we go straight into taking less hero skill damage and increasing again the amount of health we increasing the amount of health, increasing the amount of chance we defense break on them so we can deal more damage. I do apologize, I keep mixing these trees up from the old ones. And then finally, when you have magic units, you can deal more continuous damage through continuous damage effects. This last key here is only good if you're going to choose someone maybe like Lilia to pair behind him, but you could also choose Cry Havoc if you're one of those guys that can survive a little bit below 50% and keep dealing more damage. But a really good one again is Bolt Out of the Blue, just using your rage skill to be able to reposition into a new target. It's a very powerful effect, so you can go 5 out of 5 on any of these, and I think depending on which pairing you go with your Velyn will be the way to go. And then finally, I love having Iconoclasm. Dealing extra more damage is just amazing for every buff effect you gain. As you can see here, we gain a load of different buff effects already, and when you go down into this tree, into the control, you can gain even more buffs, as well as even 15 points into the PvP, you can gain even more buffs, right? So no matter which way you go on these two last talent trees in the magic, if you go 15 points and hit any of these two, or if you hit this one or this one again, you're gonna be Gucci, right? So that is all the talents that you're gonna need for the amazing Velyn. As you can see, would I recommend him to anyone? Yes, he is a 10 out of 10 in my eyes. He's gonna be a really powerful commander. I can't wait to get my hands on him and use him. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That is everything you're going to need to know on Velyn: the skills, talents, pairings, and artifacts, how to get him, and everything you need to know right so far on the first impressions of Velyn, right? After the season reset and season 2, we're going to have a lot more information on how he performs and data to back up everything we've started off here. So stay tuned for that in the future. But if you've enjoyed the video, smash a like, comment and subscribe, guys. And you know what, it is me, MrSneakyy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. So peace out.